السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد. Continuing the discussion about the way that the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam dealt with his respected and blessed wives radiyallahu ta'ala anhun. Today we will discuss how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would help out in the household chores, the household matters, and how he was involved with his family. And so it is narrated that Al-Aswad rahimahullah, one of the tabi'in, he asked Aisha radiallahu anha, ما كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يصنع في بيته. What would the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam do in his household? That's a question that many of us may have had. And so Aisha radiallahu anha replies, كان يكون في مهنة أهله فإذا حضرت الصلاة خرج إلى الصلاة. He would be involved with the work of his household. But when it was time for salah, then he would immediately go and leave for salah. And so what does it mean that he was involved with the work of his family? This is further explained in other ahadith, other narrations. It is mentioned that ما كان إلا بشرا من البشر. He was nothing more than another human being like other human beings, a man like other men. In a sense that يفلي ثوبه ويحلب شاته ويخدم نفسه. That he would basically take care of his own clothing, meaning look to see if there's any sort of lint or any sort of dirt or anything and clean it off. He would do that himself. وَيَحْلُبُ شَاتَهُ. He would milk his own sheep. وَيَخْدِمُ نَفْسَهُ. And he would serve himself. Another narration, it's mentioned, كَانَ يَخِيطُ ثَوْبَهُ. That sometimes if there was some sort of rip in the clothing, then he would actually patch it himself. وَيَخْصِفُ نَعْلَهُ. And he would basically fix his shoes himself, or if there was a need to basically put laces or anything like that, he would do it himself. وَيَعْمَلُ مَا يَعْمَلُ الرِّجَالِ فِي بُيُوتِهِمْ. And he would do what men normally do in their households. So from this we learn an important lesson, and we learn that the Prophet ﷺ, as always, he's between two extremes, and especially we see these two extremes today. One extreme is that we see that, unfortunately, some of our men, we don't even like to lift a finger when we're at home. We say that, we're out the whole day, we are earning for the family, we're putting bread on the table. Therefore, that once we reach the home, that's it. It's time to rest and relax. And every single thing has to be done by our spouses and by everybody else in the family except for me. So that is one extreme, and this shows this is against the character of the Prophet ﷺ, because again, nobody can claim that they are more busy than Rasulullah ﷺ, or that they are more important than Rasulullah ﷺ, or they have a higher status within their family than Rasulullah ﷺ. At the same time, and so this is an important lesson for us that shows that we should be involved with the work of the family and help out wherever we can. However, the other extreme is that this hadith is used as a sort of emotional blackmail by many sisters in today's time in order to kind of force the husband to do certain things, even though it is not necessarily their responsibilities. And this, we need to zoom out a little bit just to explain the gender relations is something that gender roles that have been changing, especially in today's society. We see that feminism, ideologies such as feminism, etc., have become more and more common, in which you see that women, they are trying to eliminate all the differences between men and women. And so what ends up happening is that obviously we see that women are getting more and more involved in the workplace, and at the same time we see that men, they also end up taking a share of the household responsibilities. And there is nothing wrong with that, as if there is a mutual agreement and both sides willingly and happily say that, then there's not really necessarily a problem with that. However, again, we have to see that the Prophet ﷺ, when we see the explanation of what the Prophet ﷺ used to do in his household, it was in congruence with what a man normally does, as the hadith explicitly mentions, كَانَ يَعْمَلُ مَا يَعْمَلُ الرِّجَالِ فِي بُيُوتِهِمْ. He would do that which men would normally do in the houses. But unfortunately, we see some messaging, and even you see some people online claiming to speak for the deen. They start putting words, na'udhu billah, in the Prophet ﷺ's mouth, or claiming things about the Prophet ﷺ that are not mentioned or not established in the hadith. They start saying, they take this one hadith and stretch it to the point where they say that, oh, the Prophet ﷺ used to cook and used to clean, used to do this. But the fact is that they mention so many things that are not specifically mentioned in this hadith. So we need to be careful in attributing things to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that were not attributed. And we also have to understand that, again, as we mentioned, the one extreme is that the man doesn't even lift a finger in the house and doesn't help out at all. That is also against the character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But also to expect a complete split 50-50 between the husband and the wife with the responsibilities at home, that is also not in congruence with the teaching of Islam. As generally speaking, there's many daleels for this. We won't have time to go into all the details for this, but generally speaking, we see that the responsibilities of things within the home is upon the woman and the wife, and the matters that are related to earning and doing things outside of the home were upon the man, right? And we see this in many different things. For example, there's a hadith that mentions that the Prophet ﷺ, he divided the work between Fatima radiallahu anha and Ali radiallahu anh in such a way that Fatima radiallahu anha will be taking care of all the matters within the household, and Ali radiallahu anh will be taking care of the matters outside of the household. And this again creates that perfect balance between the husband and the wife. And as soon as there's a disturbance in this balance, and there's kind of a push that, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and a force to do certain things, even though the husband is already taking care of the financial matters, but then on top of that, to expect to split the responsibilities, this leads to an imbalance in the household, and this leads to the husband forsaking some of his other responsibilities that he is supposed to be taking care of. So this is why, again, the character of the Prophet ﷺ and his lifestyle is the most perfect and balanced lifestyle. And so we need to beware of not being affected by outside ideologies from either side, right? Whether it be from the husband completely divorcing himself from his household and feeling like, you know what, I don't have to do anything at all. Whereas on the other side, taking this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and trying to make it fit with modern conceptions of gender relations. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all tawfiq and allow us to follow the beautiful and perfect character of the Prophet ﷺ. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.